Hey guys, Brian from Boas here. No matter what we're doing, we all have to rethink things from time to time, and that includes breeding boas and making a YouTube channel. So I've been going through some changes lately. I wanted to discuss those, how they apply to my boa breeding, as well as to the YouTube channel and the future direction of the YouTube channel. So please stay tuned. So as you probably know, it's been a little while since I made a video, which I'm going to get to at the end of the video, or the second part of the video. But first, I just wanted to say that part of being a successful boa breeder is having to let go of some stuff. And you know, sometimes we have all these baby boas that we hold back, and sometimes you just have to let go of a project or projects from time to time as your breeding evolves. And when I first started breeding boas, I was, so excited to get into all these different locality projects. At one point, I had something like 20 different locality boas. Then I added some morph boas as well. And, a lot of these were successful. Some of them weren't. Some of them I've moved on since. But right now, I'm kind of in a point where I have to make another big direction change. I don't think this is any surprise. You guys have seen that I've been selling some holdback animals lately. I'm probably going to continue to do this as I get my direction more clear. And I guess the initial onus for this video is I just wanted to say it's really hard to let go of some of these boas that I've been raising up for a few years. Even though I haven't bred them yet and they haven't gotten to adult age, taking care of an animal for a few years, you just kind of develop a bond with it. I mean, even if it's not like a cat or dog bond, just a caretaker, captive bond, so to speak. And over the last few weeks, I've been shipping out some holdbacks that are several years old, and it was difficult packing them up. I didn't anticipate that. I'm glad they've gone to good homes, and I'm glad they will, hopefully continue the line. Those projects, so that these animals will be available to the hobby. But it was difficult, but I'm happy. I'm happy with how it worked out, and I'm glad that some people were able to get these animals. But please stay tuned, because as I said, I probably will have some more animals available in the not too distant future. But this is something you really should think about when you're breeding boas. If you're holding back animals, a lot of them you're probably going to have to sell or rehome before they reach adulthood if you're a successful breeder, because we all have limited resources as far as space and time and money to take care of our boas, so we have to keep our collections more focused. So after I got into all those localities, and then I got into some morphs, I have been refocusing over the last few years, just focusing on the projects that I really enjoy and that I find the most fulfilling. And I think I'm probably going to get down to maybe about a half a dozen different localities over the next couple of years. And I'm pretty close to there already. Not quite sure about the morphs. I'm going to probably cut back on those as well. But the morphs have always been, less of a thing for me as far as my energy and the number of animals I have. So my advice for you, if you're breeding boas and you're having litters that you're holding animals back from, is to really be selective and really think about your plans moving forward. And then also understand that you may be in a place where you have to rehome some of them, once they reach a few years old. And as you probably know, Suriname boas, Suriname red-tailed boas are kind of my bread and butter. And I have more of those than anything else, and I've had more litters of those than anything else. And that's one area where, although I have I will always breed Surinames as long as I breed boas, I will be probably cutting back on a few. I just have so many really, really nice holdbacks. And the Suriname project is really something I'm proud of, that I've been taking over multiple generations and combining together multiple different bloodlines and really trying to shape in my vision. And I'm really happy with some of the animals. This is one born last year, 2023, one of my holdbacks. But when you hold back 3 or 4 animals a year, every single year, year after year, you get to have a lot of animals, and sometimes you just have to let go of a few of them. So I probably will have some really, really top quality Surinames, subadults, available probably in the next few weeks. So if you've been looking to get a really nice boa, you might want to stay tuned to the channel. Another type of boa I've really been deliberating on as far as what the future is in my collection are the Peruvian red tails. And I really do love the Peruvian red tails. Haven't had as many litters, haven't had as large of a breeding group. If you've been following the channel, you've seen that I have been selling some of them lately, and I sold a really nice holdback pair a few weeks ago, and that was really tough. But I'm glad that they're in really good hands, and that hopefully they'll have babies in the future. But I'm down to just a few Peruvians. I have this really nice holdback pair from 2020. I think these are 2020s, and I've been thinking about selling them, but then maybe I'm thinking, well, I just have a few. I can just keep a few in the collection. So it's tough, but I'll just have to see where these are going to go. When you breed boas and keep boas, or any animal for that matter, you always do get emotionally attached to them. So you have to really think about that and consider that for the future. One locality I'm definitely not thinking about getting out of are my Argentine boas, which were my first locality boa, and as long as I keep boas, I'll be keeping the Argentines. Just grab this. This is a holdback from 2024, approaching a year old. Curiously, all three of my holdbacks from 2024 were in shed. So this one is in shed. You can see the opaque eyes. I always like to show an animal that's not in shed because the colors look nicer on video, but you can see this animal, even in shed, still looks gorgeous. And actually, I do have an animal from that litter that became available after a sale fell through. So if you've been looking to get a really nice Argentine, just reach out to me and I'll hook you up. The other area where I think I'm probably going in a different direction is the YouTube channel. And as I mentioned, it's been a very long time, or not a very long time, but it's been a few weeks since I've recorded a video. And lately it's just been hard. I really struggle with motivation to make these videos, to be honest, because my time is already super limited with everything that I have to do with my day job, my snakes, and my family, and my house, and my other pets as well. When I first started making these videos 5 years ago, I had a whole bunch of ideas, and there was enough ideas for me to just keep cranking out videos for about a year and a half on a regular basis without really repeating anything. And I would just always get new ideas, and people would reach out to me with lots of great questions that would prompt new video ideas. And for a while it was just kind of flowed, it was just kind of effortless almost. But then it kind of started to get a little bit redundant, and I kind of started feeling bogged down about a year and a half to 2 years in. Just constantly cranking out these videos was just really draining. And you have to be in a certain mood to make the videos, especially if you're an introvert like me. And sometimes it doesn't come naturally, and always setting up to make videos is can take half hour to an hour, and then my family decides to make noise, or there's someone with a chainsaw in my next door neighbor's yard cutting down trees or something like that. And it's just, there's a lot of barriers to making the videos. And most of the people that are successful on YouTube, they just keep cranking out videos. It's really a quantity thing more so than a quality thing. I'm not a video maker. I only make the videos as a means to an end to disseminate information about my snakes and my breeding. And as you see, my videos are very low frills. I don't put a lot of production into them. I really don't have the time to do that, and I've got so many other things to do. I just want to get the message out, and this is a good medium to get messages out that I want to disseminate quick among the boa community. And so I tried for a while making the videos a little more produced with B-roll and music and things like that, and it didn't seem to really enhance the popularity of the video. And it was taking like 3 or 4 times as long, so I just decided that really probably wasn't worthwhile. And I know that my videos are really specialized, which I think has somewhat limited my channel, because I just like boas and I just talk about specific topics to boas. There's a lot of newbie content, but I've really gotten tired of repeating the newbie content since I've already done it 3 or 4 times. And the newbie stuff is really what gets more hits. People want to see videos about how do I hold my boa, or how do I tame my boa, or how do I not get bit, or what type of boa is this, or what's the best pet boa. But when I'm talking about different localities of Suriname boa, or things that are specific to breeding, it's just not as appealing to most people, right? I mean, for people that are really into boas it is, but that's a smaller community. So pretty quickly after all the topics had been exhausted, I just started making videos which are just a repeat of the same topics, or really nothing all that novel. And then I kind of tried to make it more about updates of my breeding and more to disseminate news, so to speak, rather than as general boa keeping. Although I did come back and redo topics and do topics from a different perspective. And sometimes I felt like I was just kind of going through the motions to get a video out there. And I think a lot of people that make these YouTube videos struggle with a lot of the same things. And some people are successful because they just can keep cranking stuff out, and maybe they're a good filmmaker, and maybe they're in a niche that has a lot of interest and a lot of people that watch those kinds of videos. I think the reptile niche is kind of overcrowded as far as YouTube. There's a lot of people making videos, and a lot of them aren't really all that great, to be honest. Not that I'm not saying I'm Martin Scorsese or anything, but just in general, there's not a lot of need for a lot of people to make YouTube videos. But I think it's for marketing. I understand you want to get your message out there. I'm not discouraging anybody from making YouTube videos, and I'd love to discuss if you have any questions about making YouTube videos, or tips to offer. I'd love to hear it, so you can write those below. But as far as my own videos, I'm not planning on giving up the videos, but it's probably going to be less frequent. I might have a week where I'm able to crank out a few videos, and maybe there's some really interesting topics that have just occurred to me, or they're in the news, or people are discussing them. But then there are some weeks I just don't have the time, and there's just not the topics or motivation or energy or other things to make the videos. And so that's kind of where it's headed. I'd love to hear comments from you guys, what you like about the channel, what you don't like about the channel, what types of videos you'd like to see more of. And no judgment. Tell me whatever you want about the channel. Love to hear it. Try to be nice if you have constructive criticism. But again, I'm not doing this to be a Hollywood director or anything like that. This isn't really intended for entertainment. It's more intended for education and for updates on my boa breeding progress. And so anyway, that was some comments about my YouTube channel, where it's going. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. I'm starting to lose my voice here, but I appreciate your dedication and your watching the video. Shoot me any questions or comments you have. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your boas.